interview show dedicated to discussing agriculture issues with the newsmakers and include you in the conversation via our toll-free number. We're here weekdays mornings at 10:06. We are AgriTalk.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to the WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville, as well as Your Pana Save-A-Lot, Noren's Hardware, Locked and Loaded Limited, and Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium. I'm Grayson Bauman, and joining me here in this segment today is Jamie Volkmar. She is the Specialty Clinic Coordinator at Pana Community Hospital. Jamie, good morning to you. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
I am doing well, and we talked for a moment before we got our start to the show, but the weather has got me in just such a better mood. It's just nice to see the sun shining and perfect temperatures right now. It's hard to be down right now when the weather is as nice as it is. So glad to hear that you are doing well, and we're going to talk a little bit about specialty clinics that are available at Pana Community Hospital and just kind of the specialists and all types of different things that are going on over there. I am completely new to this, so I'm excited to learn a little bit about it. Could you just give me a brief breakdown and overview of the specialty clinics that are available?
Sure. Here at Pana Hospital, we have a big variety. We currently have general surgery, we have gastroenterology, we have gynecology, we have plastics, we have urology, we have podiatry, we have wound care, orthopedics, cardiology, nephrology, pulmonology, hematology, and oncology. All the ologies.
I think by my count, that would be 13 different specialty clinics.
We sure do.
Wow. Yeah. So when you think about how many that is being offered there, I would not have expected quite that reach. Maybe 5, 6, or maybe even 7, but double that number and you have 13 different specialists. What type of specialists then do you have? And then what type of conditions are they having to treat?
Okay, so our specialty services, they're continuing to expand daily, it seems like sometimes, but we're always looking ways to provide local specialties to our patients. We have several orthopedic surgeons who practice right here in Pana. They care from anything from like small sprains to the big fractures. We even have some that come for joint replacements. The specialties, they work together with the Express Care Emergency Department here in Pana. The doctors are usually just a phone call away, and a lot of times they're even here on campus so the patient can see them the same day as they're in ED.
So if they're actually on hand, that is a nice piece to it as well, especially if you're coming right from emergency care or something along those lines. So you have several orthos. How many of the other variety of specialists do you have?
Oh goodness. So we have the 4 orthopedics that come, and then okay. I mean, with the gynecology, we have 1. Gastroenterology, we have a great GI. We have 3 general surgeons. We have 2 urologists, and our podiatry and wound care. We've got 1 of those, and then we have 4 cardiologists that come. And I'm not real familiar with the nephrology and the pulmonology, but I know we have a great standing with them as well.
It'd be hard to ask you to be familiar with all the ologies that you gave me just a moment ago. I already probably forgot more than half of them, just thinking back on having 13 different specialists. But you mentioned 4 orthos, 1 of many others. You had 3 general surgeons, if I remember correctly, 2 pulmonologists, maybe you said. I mean, you start getting me that many ologists and ologies. Yeah, it does get difficult to keep track of. But with that being the case and that being what you do, I'm glad that it's you rather than me.
I do love what I do.
Oh, I'm glad. That makes me happy to hear. For these specialty clinics, how do they benefit the patients within the community being able to have that specialized care at a moment's notice?
Well, with these clinics, I mean, it really beneficies small towns. We provide that medical care right here. Otherwise, you might have to, that need for long travel. It reduces our residents from being on the road. I mean, we're right here, so it always helps. They can improve the overall health, and it becomes easier for people to manage their chronic conditions or maybe even receive a timely diagnosis. These local services, then they not only see the patients like in the clinics, but we also do surgeries here. Pana has a beautiful newly upgraded hospital suite or surgical suite up there, which makes it nice to have the patient care right here at home. The same physicians they'd see going to Springfield, they get to see right here and have their surgeries right here. So I think it's really great for our small town. I mean, it provides like personal care, and the specialty staff gets to build that relationship with the patients. We know when this guy's coming in, where he's been, how he's been, It just makes it really easy to have that personal touch on the home care.
And I think that familiarity, that personal touch, the personalized care, I think it makes the patient feel all that much better. And I'm sure you've been able to see that as well. And for a small town like Pana, I think some 5,500 folks down in Pana and some in surrounding areas, but to be able to have specialized care, that makes a big deal, and not having to go to Springfield and head up Route 29 and further. So I do love to hear that is a focus for the specialty care, and having 13 specialists, having so many folks available to you, that I feel is a big deal. How do patients actually get to see a specialist? Is there a referral that is needed? Is a scheduling of an appointment needed, or am I totally off track?
No, you're right on track. In most cases, I do have to have a referral to see the specialist. So they just see their primary doctor, and they either, like if it's within our system, within our CMC or PMG doctors, they just send me a referral online, and then I'll call you and get you all set up. If it's an outside source, they usually just fax the referral. But there are some cases where some of my physicians don't require a referral. All they have to do is call me at 562-6238, and I'll be happy to guide them through that process.
638-562. All right. I think I've got your number down, jotted here. We'll ask for that here again here probably in a little bit. Is if I call that number there, am I only going to reach Jamie, or is there a possibility that it's somebody else?
More 9 times out of 10, it's just Jamie. I'm lucky enough to get to work with all these surgeons. They trust me with them all, I should say. And so, yeah, if you need something, you just call me.
Well, and that adds to that familiarity and that personal touch. If I know that I'm going to make that phone call, then I know I'm going to reach Jamie. Then you're that much more familiar too with everybody and everything that's going on. So I think that adds to that small town charm, kind of, we'll call it there.
I always tell them I try to treat each one of them like my mom or dad.
And
because that's the way it should be.
And when you get that type of care and you're not used to it, it's very different. And so, for you and having to be a part of all these specialists or wanting to be a part, I should say, with all these specialists, how often do they visit Pana Community Hospital, and how do they offer ongoing care if need be?
Most of our specialists, we have a few that come weekly. We have some that come bi-weekly, some that come once a month. Kind of just depends on their schedule and other places as well. But they also have their physician assistants and their NPs that come here. So typically, I can get you in with one of those specialists. And you can always look on the Pana Community Hospital website. They have the calendar there. It's on the Facebook page, of course, and I believe they even print it in the paper. So anytime you can be looking at any of those calendars, and then you just give me a call and we'll get you on.
And get you scheduled for that time and that date that allows for it. When it comes to having all those nurses and all those others that are behind the scenes as well, what does that mean to you in terms of being able to schedule folks or get information to them? What's it like having a great team behind you?
Oh, man, I have the best team. I get to work with 5 nurses on a regular basis. A few of the doctors do bring their own nurses, and they're amazing as well. But the team that's here, so the doctor, like I said, some of them come once a month. Well, I may not get to ask that doctor a direct question, but these 5 nurses that I have, they're here daily. So if there's a problem, I have such a good resource, and I can just ask them for help or find out what kind of education they need for a colonoscopy and get it off to the patient. I'm just really lucky with the team of nurses I have, because they are constantly taking care of the patients.
And again, with as many specialists and specialty care services that are being offered, you got to have a good team behind you, because again, we mentioned 13 of them, and I can probably remember maybe 6 of them off the top of my head right now. So I have to imagine some days you're in a blender a little bit, just trying to get around all the different people and all the different needs that are there. Well, right now we're speaking with Jamie Volkmar. She is the specialty clinic coordinator with Pana Community Hospital here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. Jamie, we're going to take our first break of the show. About 10 minutes, just flew like that. We've got a few more questions for Jamie on the back end of this interview, and we'll be right back around with the WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Landmark of Taylorville, Noren's Hardware, Your Pana Save-A-Lot, Locked and Loaded Limited, and Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium. More of the WTIM Pana Morning Show just after this.
Your information station, WTIM.
This is Lance Vonderheide with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one business banker who understands their business and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your business banker is your single source for all your financial needs, from cash management to lines of credit, from mortgages to equipment loans and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention hunters and gun owners, you must get to Locked and Loaded Sportsman Paradise in Pana. Take the short drive and shop Central Illinois' premier gun shop. Come see the huge inventory of firearms, ammo, hunting supplies, and accessories. In stock now, custom designed Locked and Loaded t-shirts and headgear. Brush up on your shooting skills at the indoor range featuring 7 shooting lanes. If it has to do with firearms or hunting, you'll find it at Locked and Loaded on Route 16 East in Pana. Locked and Loaded, open 6 days a week. Like them on Facebook. Noren's Hardware is a local family-owned store offering a wide selection of quality hardware supplies at competitive prices. Whether you need plumbing supplies or electrical supplies, you're sure to find what you need at Noren's Hardware Store, including ice melt, shovels, gloves, heat tape, pipe insulation, portable heaters, and propane to get ready for the winter months. Our staff is committed to providing outstanding customer service and is ready to assist you. Visit our store at 55 Main Street in Pana today.
Chip Flory here, inviting you to join the conversation as we tackle the current issues of agriculture every weekday morning at 10:06 on the Talk of Central Illinois, News Talk WTIM. I host AgriTalk, the nation's longest-running interview show dedicated to discussing agriculture issues with the newsmakers and include you in the conversation via our toll-free number. We're here weekdays mornings at 10:06. We are AgriTalk.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills and backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort. Schedule an appointment today by calling Blakely Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing at 824-4684. That's 824-4684. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Matt Corso here, proud to now be a part of the Kaufman Realty and Auction team right here in Taylorville. Let my over 20 years of real estate and auction experience work for you. Click my icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Taylorville boasts a long tradition of community and small-town values. With charming storefronts and great local eateries, it has become a popular road trip destination. Learn more by clicking the small-town Taylorville icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Back around with the WTIM Pana Morning Show here on your information station, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, as well as Noren's Hardware, your Pana Save-A-Lot, Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, and Locked and Loaded Limited. A big thanks to our Pana Morning Show sponsors for helping bring this interview to you today. It's with Jamie Volkmar. She is the Specialty Clinic Coordinator with Pana Community Hospital. And Jamie and I have been talking a little bit about what specialty care services they provide and how long they've been doing so a little bit, how it benefits. But we also would like to know maybe about some new specialists or services. Can you tell me about some that have been recently added?
Yeah, just in January, we started 2 of our new surgeons. Dr. Robin Riley, she comes to us from Memorial Health. She is awesome. She actually grew up in Alaska and went to Vermont, and now she's here. So we've learned a lot about her. She's really great. And then we have Dr. Albert Gilman. He is also from Memorial Hospital, and he has been such a pleasure to work with. It's so great when you get to meet these new providers, and you have your team of nurses here, and we're all learning new, and it's really, really nice to see them interact with our patients too.
Makes a world of difference, having a good working relationship with them on the back end too. And my goodness, you think about being in Alaska and then Vermont and then all of a sudden in central Illinois, that's a big change. And, but with that probably came a load of experience too, that you can benefit from as well. And when it comes to adding a whole new set of nurses and things of that nature, are you doing any of the scheduling around that? Or do they know that, hey, he meets with patients on this day and this day or this time of the month? Do they automatically know that they need to be there, or are you also working on scheduling nurses and others?
Well, thank goodness I don't have to do all that. I have a great director, Lori Yady. She helps the people upstairs bring them in, but she helps get everything set up so we know how long to expect the appointments to last, how long their surgery is going to last, what kind of post-stops, what kind of clinics they want. Someone else takes care of all the leg work. I just get to fill in all the patient care.
Well, I am glad for you because it sounds like you could use a little bit of help in that regard. So I'm glad that you are getting said help.
I definitely have that.
I am glad to hear it because when you think about just how many providers and how many clinics are being offered, my goodness, it would send me into a tizzy almost with that much paperwork probably.
Well, some days it does.
And what about paperwork that patients should bring with them to their visit with a specialty clinic provider?
Definitely bring your health insurance card with you. A lot of times it's in my system, but you just never know. Bring your health insurance card, your driver's license, photo ID always helps. Another thing, like current medications, like how much you take and how often. And a thing I like to do at my doctor's appointments, I write down my symptoms and experiencing. Because once you get in that room with the doctor, sometimes we forget everything we wanted to tell them, and we miss the big part. So just bring in that notepad with you. Have your list of concerns and anything you want to discuss with them. I mean, make that time yours when you're in there with them. That would be my big advice.
Yeah, and spoken from experience. And I will say, Jamie, that's the first time I've heard somebody say, hey, write down the symptoms, write down some of the conditions that you might be nervous about or might want to have checked out or at least talked about. That is the very first time I've ever actually heard somebody mention that. And so I appreciate that on the patient side of things because, yeah, you step into that doctor's office and like you said, you think you might have a good idea of what you want to say. And then all of a sudden that kind of tumbles a little bit as well. How, again, can people get a hold of you? How can folks schedule an appointment with a specialist?
All right. Well, you can always call me, Jamie, at 217-562-6238. I'm here Monday through Friday, and I will be happy to assist with any questions or any appointments, anything you need. I got you.
And when that comes to the questions, if need be, Jamie's going to also get you to who gets the answer, who needs that answer. And so 9 times out of 10, we're told Jamie will be the person that answers the phone. Going back to that small town feel, that charm a little bit of being able to get people that you are familiar with. Jamie, we've got about 2.5 minutes to go here, maybe just a little under. Is there anything else that you'd like the community to know about the specialty clinics at Pana Community Hospital?
Yeah, these specialty clinics are so beneficial to small towns. The patients can receive better care and they're close to home. It allows for better coordination between like the general health care and the specialized, especially if you doctor right here in town, our specialists are right across the hall from them. It's really, really beneficial, I think. It leads to more of a personal and efficient care. And it means the hospital has a wider range of services. We can attract more patients and improve the overall facility. It gives us a sense of community right here. Patients and healthcare providers can build that stronger relationship. Like you said, small town people, you come in, we know who you are, we know what's going on. It's just a really good atmosphere. But currently, Pana Hospital has outgrown the specialty services. I mean, truly outgrown our space. The hospital has put up a temporary specialty building on the east side of the hospital. It's got a covered walkway. I mean, we're not in it yet, but we're getting there. The modular, I got to be in it yesterday. It's huge. It's wonderful. I'm really getting excited. And I know they're going to talk about it more when we get closer to opening it.
Well, I love that for you too, because it sounds like you need some more space. And so then getting some of said space and getting to have an idea of what you're going to be working with here soon. I knew Pana Community Hospital had undergone a lot of transformation, but I'm glad to hear you weren't forgotten in that part.
Oh, heck no. They take good care of us here.
So that is fantastic. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for joining me here for the first time on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. I think this went absolutely great, and I hope for the same on your end as well. And Jamie Volkmar is the specialty clinic coordinator with the Pana Community Hospital. We talked about the 13 specialty care groups, how many specialists are on hand and how it benefits the small towns, and how to get a hold of Jamie Monday through Friday. 9 times out of 10, she'll be the one taking your call. You're listening to the WTIM Pana Morning Show here on your information station, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
Your information station, WTIM.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street continues to struggle in the wake of yesterday's big losses. This morning, the key averages lower again, with the Dow in particular deep in the red. A U.S.-led delegation headed by Secretary of State Rubio is meeting with Ukrainian officials for talks in Saudi Arabia. Those discussions focus on finding a way to end the three-year war with Russia. The meeting comes hours after Russian air defenses shot down hundreds of Ukrainian drones over 10 regions. That happened overnight. A proposal to fund the federal government for the final half of this federal fiscal year has run into some opposition. The bill is expected to come up for a vote today in the House. It is expected to win approval. And a federal judge rules that DOJ must release its records of its activities, saying it is subject to Freedom of Information Act requirements. More details at srnnews.com.
Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over